Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to another Cycling Time Trials Evening 10. We're on the usual V718, which is the UK's fastest 10-mile time trial course. And of course, this is the virtual version, but it's mirrored from the exact profile of the original course. So expect the times to be pretty quick tonight. In the previous few weeks, we've had 22 and a 21 taking the honours. So we'll see what happens tonight. The time showing on the screen for time trial starting is my time. So don't get confused. That's not what time the race is going to start. The race will start promptly in about 4 minutes' time at 8 o'clock CET or 7 o'clock UK time. And what it format is, each rider goes off at a 10-second interval, and they have to be through the start line before I can pick them up on the road. So I'll capture each rider as he leaves the start line and begins his time trial. The only thing I have to do is jump on the bike when it's my turn to ensure that I stay in the event, and thereafter 30 minutes later I need to turn the pedals. Try not to forget this week. I need to turn the pedals so that I stay in the event, because currently the spectate software only allows you to spectate for 30 minutes. But anyway, I will be changing and swapping riders, so it's not like I'm going to be covering just one rider and stalking him for 30 minutes. I don't really have a handle yet on who the likely winners are going to be, because I haven't seen the full rider list. But as we follow the riders leaving and starting their time trial, I'll be able to give you commentary by looking at the different wattages and speeds, and also there's a few known riders which obviously I'll be able to call out and say, well, you know, they're going to put in a good effort. So sit back, enjoy the commentary, and more importantly, if you're taking part, enjoy the ride, because these evening CTTs are pretty good. I really enjoy covering them, and they don't take very long, 20 minutes effort, so you can really get into it. Anyway, what I have to do is ensure that I'm covering the first rider off. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Verhoeven, but by pressing the end key on the keyboard, it takes me to what should be the first rider. So with 2 minutes to go, we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. As I say, ignore the time in the bottom right of the screen showing 5:48 at the moment, because that's my time to the start and I need to keep an eye on that. If I zoom out slightly, then it will give me a better indication of who's going to be moving forward. And the riders move forward, and then, as I say, they have to get a certain distance up the road before the time trial actually kicks in and starts for them. But that's going to be happening any time now. It's been a busy weekend. I covered the March Monuments series this weekend for James Ogilvy and the OTR boys. So it's been a busy weekend. Back on it tonight with this short event, and then I have my group ride tomorrow. And there we go. There's the rider going off. Here we go, Mr. Glover. So he's the first rider off on the road, putting in a good start, as you can see from his power. And then we've got the second rider going off here. So let's see if we can catch him on the road. There we go, Mr. Pritchard. Not quite as fast a start from Pritchard. And then we've got Strong following on behind him. Another rider beaven. They are going off quickly. It seems they're going off quickly now. There's Kemp just about to start his run. Now you can see what I mean about it takes a while for them to build up to get up to speed. And while he's getting up to speed, you've got Lamborn going off. It's showing 42 riders, so it's going to take a little while for me to cover the start. But once we've seen all the riders off, we'll start switching around the view and capturing the riders that are already on the road. I might actually have to do that instead of staying with all the starters, because I could well miss something going on further up the road. There's Dick starting his run. Seem to be there we go, Sherin. Seems more than 10 seconds between some riders, and maybe some of the riders that have actually signed up are either not starting or I don't know. It's there's Carter starting the run. As I say, we'll catch up with all the riders on the road once everybody's got underway. I just want to try and get the majority of the riders leaving the start line, and then we'll get into the ride proper. Hodges. See if I recognise, well, I do recognise some of the names on the line, and obviously Eaton Jones getting quickly into his stride. Nylin, he's a regular competitor, as is your next man off, Bag. He's a regular competitor and usually sets off pretty fast. Now he's one to watch, and already you can see him getting up to speed, hitting 50 kilometers an hour almost. So this is one of your men to watch. He'll definitely be in the running at the end. And Hitchcock's making a strong start, as you can see. He's getting quickly up to speed, and don't know much about M-Rob. That is another rider getting quickly up to speed. Now this is another rider to watch out for, Ferreira, and he's putting out some good numbers here. So he'll be a strong rider contending for the win tonight. Don't know about this rider. Lilburn, and I'm off in 20 seconds, so I must be off after Walsh. So it must be Walsh. Let's see if we can get over to Walsh. So there's Walsh, and it's no, maybe not. Maybe there's another rider before him, another rider. But yes, there is. There's Laura Becky, and then it's me. So I just have to jump on the bike. Yeah, there we go. So page down, you can see I'm just waiting for it to show my cadence, which it now is, and then Obviously, I'm not taking part in the event. I purely and simply want to get started. So all the riders behind me are going to pass me now as I pull to the side of the road. And I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Skovsgar, is it? But he's putting in some good wattage at the start. And then you've got Sondergaard, his compatriot, underway. M. Gordon, I recognise that name. He's a regular. Hutton, another regular. Spencer, I think he's another one of the regulars. So you tend to get a lot of the riders returning to this event, but and rightly so, it is a very good event to sort of put in your calendar, especially if you like time trialing. There aren't many better courses than this one in real life, to be honest. And Decker is a definite contender. He took part in the race at the weekend and finished third, which was a bit of a surprise for me because I had him pegged up as possibly a winner of the event, but he surprisingly got dropped. I think it even surprised him. I don't think he expected to be dropped from the front two when he was, because he's a very strong rider. So I expect him to be up there at the end. And C. Little's another good rider and another regular. So we'll see what he can come up with. Ellis, another regular in this event. And we're getting near towards the, hopefully, the last riders going on the road now, Blackburn. And we'll catch up with them again. Don't worry. It's not just a case of okay, I've called the name and that's it. We will be watching every rider finish the event. So every rider will have his piece of fame as he passes the finish line. I can promise you. Tixera's gone off, and I think it looks like the last man off. Now, this is my friend Rob Stone. He comes along on a lot of my rides and pulls me round. And he's my pick tonight to win the event. So there you go. Last man off is my pick to win the event. Okay, let's get up the front and have a look at this. Now, this is not necessarily the first man off or the winner at the moment. This is simply the man that's out front on the road. It doesn't mean he's the fastest man. And what we'll do is we'll compare, if you look at the speeds and the power outputs, look at the speed mainly. That gives you a good guide as I work my way back down the course. And you can see that Strong is proving strong because he's pulling, he's going 1 kilometre faster than the man in front, and he's actually catching him now. And if we stayed with him, we would probably see the catch. I'm going to flick the camera around because that's better. We're being obscured by the trees slightly. So I'll try and keep the view so that we're not, but it's pretty. That's better. That's a better view. There we go. So you can see Verhoeven's catching Pritchard, and he's actually probably one of the fastest men on the road that we've currently looked at, Verhoeven, and he is one of the contenders for a top spot as well. So he's going to go past Verhoeven. Now, there's no drafting in this event. In real life, you wouldn't be allowed to sit on somebody's wheel. You can quite happily do so if you want to in the virtual version, because drafting is turned off. So you get absolutely no benefit other than the visual and the kick up the pants from having a rider coming past and sitting on his wheel. So there you can see Verhoeven has left Pritchard behind and is pulling out his lead. And then behind those two, you've got Lambourne coming up the road. He's a further 230 metres behind, so not within catching distance yet. Then you've got Bevan. I'm just going to go back to the front and look at Glover and see that he's got 9.3 remaining. So we've plenty of time to watch the rest of the riders on the road, because he's not even at the halfway point yet. And I'll keep an eye on the time, because I'm expecting about a 21-minute finish. So I'll keep an eye on the time to make sure that we don't miss the riders finishing first. It's a bit difficult to try and catch every single rider multiple times, but that's what I attempt to do. I attempt to try to show every rider at least once on the road, and usually more times. Now you can see from the speed that Barg's doing here, and look at his power output, his wattage, 350 watts, 330. He's going to be there or thereabouts. I'd expect a top 3 placing from this man here. And I don't think he'll let me down. Nylin, another good rider, but I don't think he'll be tying for one of the top spots tonight. So just look at the speeds as I pull in the riders, and let's go back to Heaton Jones, because you can see that he's slightly slower than Barg on more or less the same section of road, but only slightly. So he's going to be up there, and he is a strong rider. I know from previous events that he's a good rider. So he's going to be up amongst the front riders. And you can see from the speed that Bulk is doing that he's not really going to be in contention here. But that's not the idea, and Hitchcock's going to go sailing past anyway. But that's not the idea of a time trial. The time trial is called the race of truth, because you're racing against the clock and you're racing against yourself. If you've previously done a 10 in 25 minutes, then you want to try and do it in 24 and improve your time over a period of, the time that you finish over a period of time. Yes, it's for the real top men, it's about beating your competitors, but it's more about beating yourself, I'll be honest. Now this is Ferrara. He's not going as speedily, but his wattage is pretty high, so yeah, 9.5 to go. It's not going as well as I thought he would be, though. I say that I can only go by what the speed he's doing at the moment on the road, and he is on the slope section, so perhaps that explains why his speed is slightly lowered. So yeah, he's doing a good ride. And then we've got Kemp. Walsh is always one to watch, as you can see him absolutely smashing the course and racing past Kemp as if he stood still. So a good ride here from Walsh. Now he is leaving Kemp behind. Jay Mannion is a regular in many events, so he certainly loves RGT, that's for sure, because he takes part in every kind of event, not just the time trials. And he's being caught by Carter. And look at Durat. We'll just move on to him. He's just gone sailing past. So he's doing a good ride. He's putting in decent numbers. Not as high as the leaders, but yeah, he's catching a few of his 10-second men. In a normal time trial, you go off at 1 minute intervals. So we actually say, he's catching his minute man. But obviously in the virtual version, you can't have a minute between the riders. And we're getting towards the end of the course now, so we should be picking up shortly, I would have thought, the likes of Decker and Stone. And to be honest, I don't know where they are. Oh, there's Decker. And if you look at the power numbers being put out, pretty good power numbers. Speed's high because he's on the upslope section. So a nice high speed and good power numbers from Decker. Gordon's riding well. Another rider I know from other events. Hutton possibly catching Gordon, so he's doing a good ride. Little, he's putting in good power numbers and good speed on the rise as well. So Page, I suspect Little has just gone past him. And Blackburn. This view is nice because you can see riders up the road in front of the ones that I'm highlighting. So there you go. You can see Alice catching Blackburn, and then Gilbert. I think it's Dave Gilbert. Is doing a good ride. Strong rider. And there's Rob. And don't forget, Rob was last man to start, and already let's count how many are now behind him. And well, if you count these two, he's going to go past any second now. In fact, he's going to catch the next three. So you can see exactly how fast he's going, because this is the first 10-second man. There's the second 10-second man he's gone past. There's the third 10-second man. And of course, I'm last on the road. So he's already overtaken 3, and he's overtaking 3 more. So that gives you an indication of his speed. So I'm going to stay with Rob just for a second while I turn the pedals over on the bike, just to make sure. I mean, it's early yet, but I want to be early. I don't want to be kicked out of this event while I'm covering it. And I'll get back to the front in a second, because we must be getting 17 minutes. We'll be getting close to, let's go back to the front. You see 4.4 kilometres to go, and Verhoeven, who I said was going fast, has now taken over at the front with, let's just have a look at who's following him. Strong, who is proving strong, because he's in a nice second place at the moment. But this is a very good opening salvo from Verhoeven, and this will put him right up there. I mean, he's at 16 minutes at the moment, and if you look at his speed, you can probably try and calculate his time. I think we're looking at a 23-minute ride here, but you know, I'm no genius, but there we go. Let's see what happens when he gets nearer the finish line. And then you've got Glover. So he's closing up. Let's see what the distance. You can see on the road the virtual distance is 270 meters. So, but Pritchard's coming up fast. Pritchard's 56 meters behind him and closing. You can see it coming down on the screen. So we'll stay with Glover and watch Pritchard do the catch, and then we'll just quickly flick back to the front. In fact, no, this catch is not going to happen as quickly as I expected. So I'm just going to go back to the front and make sure I'm checking distance left, which is 3.3. So Strong is 3.5. So there's 250 meters between them. And then you've got these two up near the front. Now, as I say, I'll get every single rider coming over the line. So you will be highlighted on the road once more, at least once more. Now, this is another good ride. If you look at the time he's arrived here, this is going to be up there with Verhoeven, his bag, without a doubt. And Verhoeven's 2.8 now. This is a fast ride. This is going to set the standard. Strong behind, Glover, Pritchard, Lambourne, Hawkins and Barg. Absolutely smashing it. You can see he's actually catching Hawkins now, 66 metres behind, so he's smashing it. So is Dick, by the look of it. Dick is absolutely closing up on his 10-second man. So some good riding going on here. Sharing. I can only go so far back in the ride at the moment, folks, because obviously we have to stay and keep flicking back to the front. We've got 2.1 kilometres to go with Verhoeven. Now, I said it was possibly going to be a 23. It could be quicker than that. This could be a 22 we're looking at here. So we'll just have a quick look behind him at 2.1. The distance has gone out to 300 metres, so he is actually pulling ahead of Strong, and these two are not going to catch those two. So let's stay with Verhoeven. This is an excellent ride. I think I might be right with it. I said it was going to be a 23. I think I'm going to be right. So and Pritchard is catching Glover, as you can see on the road. Okay, I'm going to stay with Verhoeven now because he's so close to the finish, and then we'll start getting the finishes coming in. I think that's the best way to do it. And what I'm going to do is, instead of this view, I'm going to switch the camera around. There's the 1 kilometer. Whoops, there's the 1 kilometer to go. And the reason why I'm switching the camera around at this angle is that I can then call the time, because I can see him going under the banner. And in previous weeks, I've managed to call the time to within 0.1 of a second. So I'm not going to be that far out with the times I call, but they are only provisional. If I call a time and I call a winner, that doesn't mean that's the correct result. It just means it's my take on what I'm seeing on the road. But this is an amazing ride. And I think the lad is going to do a 22, a short 22 at that. Yeah. So this is without a doubt up there for the win at the moment. A really good ride to set us off. I mean, first rider home, and we have a potential winner. That's not bad going for an event. So here we go. I'll call his time as he crosses the line. That's a 22.22. Okay. So at the moment, 22 Verhoeven with a 22.22. This is going to be a long 23 or a short 24. Probably a long 23 looking at it. He's got, yeah, a long 23. So anything over the 30 is called long, and this is going to be over the 30-second mark. So it's a 23, it's a long 23. Which is a good ride. Well, they're all good. Anybody finishing. So there we go, a nice 23 for Strong. And Pritchard, he's going to be doing a 24 now. What we call a short 24. So if he gets to the line before the 30-second mark, which he's going to do, I think. Whatever, this is another good ride. What I have to keep an eye on is I as well as just flicking backwards. So we got a short 24 there, and Glover is coming in with another 24. And then Lamborn is coming in with a 23, 24, or can he just make the 23? He's just made a 23. Well done, sir. And this is Bag, and this is the man I said would be a contender. And sure enough, he's got 22-22 to beat. If he's listening to me, you can see him putting in the effort now. He's really putting the watts down. So he's really going for it, but he's not going to get there. He's not going to beat Verhoeven. So this is second place on the road at the moment. Sadly, he's not going to get to the line at the 22-second mark. That's a certainty. So there you go. He's just passed it. So let's see what time he does get. Here we go. 29, 22-29. So 7 seconds difference. This is going to be another 23 for Hawkins. Nice ride, sir. And then we've got 300. Now it gives me the chance to sort of like, because what I'm going to have to do as we get to the riders in the middle of the pack is do what I'm doing here and switch between riders approaching the line. Otherwise, I'm likely to miss one or two. And if I do, forgive me. I'm trying to keep an eye on the figures to make sure I don't, because it's very difficult to make sure that I flick the view in time. This is going to be a 24 just. He's just going to come in with a 24, which he has done. Well done, Dick. And this is going to be a 25 if he can just get there in 6 seconds time. Or is it going to be a 26? No, it's a 26, unfortunately. Well, I'm saying unfortunately. And this is wow. So Walsh came over in 22:13. So he's currently in second place. So you've got Verhoeven, Walsh, and Bag. Are you 1, 2, 3 at the moment? Ferrara's putting in a good ride. I said he'd be a strong rider. He's going to be putting in a short 23. So this is currently 4th place. But your 1, 2, 3 is Verhoeven, Walsh, and Bag. And this rider's putting a 23 there. 25 from Sherin. Heaton Jones with a 24. Rob with a 23. Whoops. Hodges with a 25. They're coming in thick and fast, so I'm trying my very best to flick back to the next rider in time. This is giving me a little bit of a gap. So Bennett's going to have a 25. That's exciting stuff to get the lead so soon on. That's fantastic riding. Another 22 here. This is currently your third man. Your fourth man, Skovsgar. I think he's your fourth or he's your third. Whatever. Anyway. I will check out the results before I go off air. So we'll load up the website and have a look at the website to check the results. We got Gerard doing a 24. So and Spencer, he's on a good ride. This is going to be a 23, a short 23. So this is a good ride as well. This will put him in the top 10 easily. Yep, a really good ride. And there goes Decker, look. So let's see if we can get on Decker. And Decker's doing a 23, a short 23. So he's easily within the top 5, I think, with this. There goes Decker. And Lobecki has done a 24. Sondergaard, a short 24 by the look of it as well. And Rob Stone is closing fast on the finish. So let's hope I can flick back in time to see him. This is a 24 from Sondergaard. Then you've got Saib, 91. And he's being caught quickly by Rob Stone. That's a 24. And Rob Stone is doing at the moment 22.07 to beat. No, he's not got it. He's got second place with a 22.09. So Rob Stone, my pick for the win, has got second place. Gilbert with another 22. Solid ride from Gilbert. I said he was a strong rider. Mannion is a really good all-round rider. So he's coming in with a 27. I mean, I admire anybody taking part in these because racing 10-mile time trials are not easy. They require another 25 here from Gordon. Little's coming in with a 24. And then we've got Bolt coming in. This is going to be a 29. Kemp is going to come in with a 30. What I'm hoping is that these riders, you know, I really hope they're doing PBs. I hope they're managing to improve the times week in. Hutton is coming in with a 25. Nice ride. Raddy with a 24. Lilburn. Sorry that they're so close together, guys. I can't do anything about that. 26. He's just made the 26. Ellis with a 24. Page with a 25. Carter with a 29. Hayes just gone under the 1K to go banner, and he's, let's have a look. He's going to be doing a 26 if he can keep the pace going. Some really good rides here. Just two more riders to go. Hayes and Texera. I need to climb on the bike shortly, but it's looking good. And then we'll fire up the, before I leave the event, we'll fire up the website and see if the website is showing the event live. It was one of the weeks that I checked, but I think last week it wasn't. So let's wait and see. As soon as this is finished, we'll get the website up. Now, I said that it was going to be a 26, and it's going to be a short 26. So well done, sir. Okay, and one more man to come home. And that Texera's is last man on the road. And he's going to be doing a 26. He'll get there in time, so he'll be doing a 26 too. I'm just turning the pedals to make sure that I stay in the event long enough to be able to go to the website and give you the results, which I'll flick over to as soon as Texera gets through the line, let's say with a 26. So really good riding from everybody. I hope many of there's me just stopping. And what I'll do now is I'll just very quickly in the software, it allows me to let me interact with this, and then I can go to the website. So it's RGT. Oh, where are we? Come on. No, this is taking me to Tom. That's not what I want. Okay. Let's get back to the event and pull up a separate website. rgtdb.com. Yep, there we go. Okay, I'm pulling it up in the background. In future weeks, I'll make sure I have it in my list, and then I can pull it up and you can see what I'm doing here. But what I'm looking for is this event, which doesn't appear to be here. Let's go to results then. Is it going to show it in results? Nope, it's not in the results page. Okay, let's go to events then. Is it going to show it in the events page? Yep, there we go. So I don't think, unless they're doing them live. Oh, we've got the results. Okay, so it's showing Rob Stone as first, which was my pick for the win, but I thought I saw somebody with a 22.07 cross the line. But it's showing Rob Stone with a 22.09. Okay, that's okay. Well, I've got the winner right then, if Rob is the winner, but I'm certain I saw a 22.07. But I can only go by the results. The live results given here is Rob Stone with a 22.09.4, Paul Walsh in second place with a 22.13.4, and Jesper Verhoeven with a 22.22.3. So Jesper was actually the highest average watts of the three. Rob Stone being 403, Paul Walsh being 425, and Jesper being 527. But Rob Stone takes the win with 22.09. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Please consider giving a like, and if you aren't already, subscribe, and then you're not going to miss any more of the streams when I cover these events. Take care, stay safe.